I'm sorry.
Mine makes me do it twice. It was the first time wrong and the second time it works. Now I compare it, it's the same thing, but somehow the first time was wrong.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe your computer doesn't like you. It sometimes it's like that. All right. Um. So now let's now that we've got our tables laid out, okay, and we're probably gonna have to go back and make some changes to our tables, just FYI. But this is a good place to start on our data SQL file, so we can start adding in some actual data into our database. We have a database built, but there's no data in it. So how do we do that? Let's look at the syntax here. Um, we use to enter data into the database, and this is still part of create. So this is part of a CRUD. We're going to insert into, and then whatever table we want to insert, and then field field to however many fields we're inserting data into, and then we need to say values, and then whatever values we have. So in other words, again, insert into this table these for these particular fields these values, okay, and the values for each entity are grouped together by parentheses and separated by commas. As you can see here, each field and each value separated by commas, okay, and they're grouped inside of parentheses. All right, and the order of the field must correspond to the order of the value. So let's build our artist table first, okay? So everyone do these first couple of them with me, because again, you'll need that for uh your your own database. So insert into artist, F name, L name, and then values Erica Badu. So this does not happen in our SQL file. I mean our schema file. We need to put this in our data file. So I'm gonna come over here, click on my data file, and in here I'm gonna say insert into. This is going into artist, and in parentheses we put what fields. Okay, we'll say F name, L name. Sometimes if you want to, if they're really long, you can put them on multiple lines if you want to. That's quite all right. Values, and then we put the value in there. And normalize your data. If you want to use all caps, that's fine. If you want to use all lowercase, that's fine as well. Just I don't normally do this, but I'm going to go all caps. Up, Erica, comma, Badu. And then at the very end, again, do not forget your semicolon. Now I can do all this on one line if I want to, because the data is not large, right? I could do it like so. This is perfectly fine. If you want to do it like this, that's okay. Uh, the indentation and spacing, line breaks, etc., doesn't really matter unless you get too wonky, I suppose. All right, and so once we have that, we can copy this over. I always like to do one entry first before I do it in mass. But I'm gonna do this entry here. Come up back over here to my server, paste it in there, and hit enter. And when I do that, it says query okay, one row affected. That means success. All right, looks good. We'll come back to that. But again, make sure that it is formatted the way we have right here. Insert into whatever table we have, and then whatever fields we want to include for this insertion, and then whatever values. And again, the fields must match with the values. They got to correspond. Okay, so if it's the first name of the artist, that needs to match with the first name field like so. Okay. Once you get that in there, copy and paste it in your server, and you should be looking good. And you see here again, it's a good practice to insert one value in before you do it in bulk. It's a good way to test to make sure that your statement works correctly. And then again, for me, it creates a nice boilerplate for you when you want to add data in the future. So you already had that structure in place. So all you had to do is just kind of make modifications as you need to. And then now we're going to add the rest of the data in the artist table, and then we're going to complete the band table and the label tables as well. So let's let's come back over here to our table here. And so what we'll do is for the artist, let's enter in this information. So what I want us to all do is have 10 artists. Okay. So just feel these first six you need to have in there. Okay. Because that goes along with the lesson. But then after that, the next four artists and same thing, next four bands, you can put whichever bands that you want to. So let's do that. All right. So now let's do this in bulk. I'm gonna come back over here to Visual Studio Code. So if I want to do this in bulk, insert into artist, F name, L name. I'm gonna put this on a separate line. Say values. Okay. And we got John Coltrane. I was doing this in all caps, right? Yep. John, comma, Coltrane. And then Miles Davis. Aretha Franklin.
You have two T's in the artist.
Thank you. Carol King. And Common. Oh, remove that right there. Okay, so that looks good. So there goes all of the artists. Oh, and yeah, so those are the following ones. And then again, you can add whichever artist that you want to add here. So just do four more. Make sure that they are written as strings, okay, and comma separated. So, oh, I'm missing something. I'm making an error. Anybody kind of want to guess what my error may be by looking at this?
You need
I need what? I do need something.
Common null.
Common null. That's one thing, but I'm missing something else. I'm making a big error too. Yeah, so like well, it's not here. So what I need to do is uh each one of these groups needs to be separated by parentheses. So in other words, so I have values, open parentheses. Well, matter of fact, let me move that parentheses down. I like making live errors like this, by the way, because you'll make that error as well. So I need to separate it like so. So John Coltrane. So Miles Davis. That gets its own set of prints. So each set gets its own set of parentheses. That way it will group correctly. Otherwise, you will get a nice little nasty error. I could just let me just Control Z. Just and remove this one here. All right. So this is how, this is how we want it to look. So each set, or this, so this would be for an entry, okay, has first name, last name, and they're grouped inside parentheses, and we have the comma sitting on the outside. And put Will's favorite, Sabrina. Sabrina Carpenter. Well, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 2 more. Uh, uh, I went to New Orleans this weekend. Went digging for some records and had some food. Anybody ever been to Dookie Chase restaurant? It's like really famous. Um, I haven't been there, but they have that's like more dinner style. They have a breakfast brunch restaurant called Chapter 4. Oh my goodness, the best pancakes you ever have in your entire life. It's like you start to cut the pancakes and you can hear the flakiness of the on the edges, like the. I said, "Oh yeah, this is it right here." It's in New Orleans, Chapter 4. Oh my goodness. All right, so now that we've got other artists in there, we can copy this and we can paste it inside of. I'm sorry. Who? What? Who? Who does it? Oh no, 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 no. We're not taking. It's not two sets of parentheses. No, it'll look like this here because each set of values will have its own parentheses. So just like this, and hit enter, and it says query okay. 9 rows affected. Records 9 rows and no duplicates. Good, great. Now let's do. Once you get those, then you can move on to band if you need to. Again, pause the video and enter them. So we'll make 10 bands, but let's get these 6 that we have listed. Okay. So it's going to look the same way. Insert into band. And then I could just put the band because I don't need again to put a band ID. Values. So the first one is Black Sabbath. Oh yeah, all caps. The Doors. Now these are strings, so make sure that you're adding your quotes. And again, you can use single or double quotes. It doesn't matter. But you need to be aware of like when you need to use a double quote in an event like, using something that's possessive or, an apostrophe. I am, as a matter of fact. Seven. All right. So list out your 10 bands.
Is there a reason you have the separated in those string?
Yeah, I because I'm thinking about like when I order them, maybe I want to alphabetize them, and I don't want to be some people care about that, others don't. Um,
Makes sense.
yeah, once you get that, copy it and paste it. Says query okay, 10 records, 10 rows affected, records, 10 duplicates, warnings, etc. And then lastly, we'll do labels. So insert into label, add the label, values, and let's see. Nope, not you. We got A&M first. Atlantic. I'm gonna add Blue Note in here because I want to and I can. Columbia. And I'm just alphabetizing these as I'm adding this. Electra. Matter of fact, I'm gonna remove Blue Note. Maybe I add that later. I'm just gonna copy what I have. I'm just gonna put the 9 labels that I have already listed. So A&M, Atlantic, Columbia, Electra, Geffen, Impulse, MCA, Motown, and Warner Brothers. And if you would like to add some more labels after this one, then you're free to do that. Matter of fact, again, I'm gonna add Blue Note down here. Uh, add another one. Interscope. I had Solar. There we go. Just make sure at the end of it, the very last one, make sure you have your semicolon. Once you have that, copy it and paste it. Hit enter, and there we go. Yes. What does your error read? Okay. So are you're doing the labels? Oh, create table album. Okay. Okay. Yes. So what you want to do is check, make sure that you have your commas at the end of each statement. Make sure that everything's spelled correctly. Okay. And notice like for primary key, foreign key, notice how those entries are inside of parentheses, like so. We'll come back and look at after when I pause the video, then we can look and see what errors you may have if it's still there. But check all of that to make sure um, that all that is okay. Okay, let's see. All right, so let's pause here. As a matter of fact, it's a good place to pause once you have the artist table, the band table, and the label table filled out. Okay, and then what we'll need to do is we'll come back and start working on the artist table. I mean, the album table. We'll need to make some changes to that. But this is a good place for us to stop and check through our errors or anything. Also, if you're watching these videos, pause it at any time again. Check through your errors and then come back into it. If you do have like some kind of error, whatever, and you just don't know where else to turn, you want to leave a comment. Maybe I'll read the comments. uh, and see if we can help you out that way. All right. But that's going to be it for this one. We'll see you all on the next videos. All right.